Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast, my podcast about immigrants and immigration and everything in between. Thank you for listening and downloading the show, and thank you for supporting my dad.
Welcome back, Immigrant Nation. Another week, another new episode. Every week, I want to thank you, Immigrant Nation, for your continued support. Speaking of support, I'd much appreciate it if you join the Immigrant Nation officially. How would you do that, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you did. Simple. Please click the subscribe button to subscribe to our podcast. It won't cost you anything, but it will mean a lot to me. Also, if you or someone you know wants to be a guest on the podcast, reach out to our social media accounts at An Immigrant's Life or email me at animmigrantslife@yahoo.com. Let's connect and let's tell your beautiful story. That is that. Now, let's talk about the episode. The word inspirational is so diluted nowadays, but there's no better adjective to describe this week's guest but that. From poverty and immigration struggles, she powered through them all to achieve her goals. Also, there's a part of this episode when the guest family decided to send her to Canada hoping to get asylum, which perfectly encapsulates the things that some immigrants have to go through just to escape poverty. I've said enough. So, without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Today's guest is the CEO and founder of Prumatt. She'll inspire you to work out while feeling good in her activewear clothes. Everyone, please welcome Maria Flores.
Hi, thank you so much for having me in your program. It's an amazing job that you're doing for all the immigrants all over the world.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here because it's just I didn't know you were in Canada, like we were just saying a little bit like minutes ago. So that's amazing. And congratulations for your award.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I got lucky.
You probably are working very hard, right? That's the way you see it.
I just put in the work, and whatever happens, happens.
Right. That's the results of hard work you put in whatever you do, right?
Yeah. Like I was listening to one of your interviews and you said something about consistency.
Right. I mean, that's what I believe. I've been in this field for 3 years, and I feel like even though it was very hard, that was the results that I've been working on every single day. It was my consistency and just showing up every day, even when I don't feel like showing up, right? Just show up and then keep going, no matter what is happening. And every day, just show up in the good days and the bad days and face it.
Mm-hmm. That's why not a lot of people succeed. Because whatever your meaning of success, by the way, but not a lot of people succeed because when it's like bad days, they don't get up.
Right. So I think for me, the bad days are the ones that make me strong right now, because those days are when you really make you think. You got to push harder. You learn something from any mistakes that you do in your life. And then you learn to overcome, because as you know, I have a brand, clothing brand company. And I made a lot of mistakes, and I did lost also money in investments. But I also learned that I should never make that kind of mistake. And then you become a different person in the business field, right? But because also you make mistakes, you learn and you become better in what you do. So really, there's not like a mistakes. I will say I see it like as a miracles, because those struggles are the one that teaches you every day. I think we have to feel grateful for every struggle or every problem we face every day, because they're trying to teach us something always.
Yeah, it makes you stronger,
Right.
I know it's a cliche to say, but diamonds are made out of pressure, you know?
Yes. So I mean, I came. I'm glad that you do this, because it's so important to highlight the life of our immigrant in all over the world, not only United States. As you know, I'm in the United States, and then you are in Canada, and all over the world. It's not easy to go to another country and start from zero, and overcome all those things that we have to overcome as an immigrant, and go to another country and succeed, right? You have to be strong and very resilient to really, get to know the language, get to know the people, the culture, and then be part of it. It's hard, but that's why I say immigrants are unique, and also are, like you say, they're diamonds, because they're very, very resilient. You leave everything behind you just because you want better life or better opportunity, and you have a dream.
100%. By the way, before we get into deeper, why don't you tell the Immigrant Nation where they can reach you and promote your activewear clothing?
So we are, my brand is located online only. It's in the United States, and our business is everything online. So anything that you order will come, and we will ship it to your door, which is great. People love that. We are in, our website is www.prumatt.com, and we are in Instagram as a Prumatt Fit, and Facebook as a Prumatt. Prumatt is Prumatt.
Beautiful, beautiful. Before we start talking about Prumatt, which I like to talk about, let's put some background about you. Currently lives in Connecticut, but originally from Peru. Which part of Peru where you were born?
So I was born in south of Peru, which is Apurimac. It's a state. I was born in Abancay, which is a small town of south of Peru. And back then I spoke the language, which is Quechua. That's my mother's language. And I came to the United States 15 years ago. I was 17, I think, when I came to the United States.
The language that you said, Quechua? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, it's Quechua. It's our native language from Peru.
Is that what the Incans speaks? You speak that language?
Yes.
Whoa, that's cool, man.
I mean, of course, I don't speak the way I used to anymore, because when I was little, I grew up with the language. My mom will talk to me in Quechua, but then because you don't use it anymore, you kind of lose it, But I understand, and because I don't practice, but I'm very proud to say that I do speak Quechua, and people get very surprised because I do speak English too. So it is my mother's language. So
that's amazing. You're
it's
speaking
very
like the old ways, How do you say hi?
Imainayan.
Wow. I love Incans, by the way. It's like one of my favorite things to watch or study, and watching documentaries about them. Where you live, were you close to the ruins or far off?
Yes. So I'm 5 hours from Cusco. So okay. Cusco, it's where the Machu Picchu is, right? We have the ruins in there. So it's 5 hours from my state. So it's not far.
5 hours far.
I mean, for me, it's not far, it can be worse.
Because you're used to it,
Right. But it's different weather in there, obviously. When you go there, you have to get used to of the weather and accustomed to the weather first before you do anything, because most people when they go as a tourist they start feeling very sick the first and second day, because it's very low it's altitude,
Yeah,
you know.
altitude
So
sickness.
yeah, so
Where you live, is it close to the mountains too?
yeah, it's close to the mountain. We are in the mountains and the Andes. We don't get cold weather the way we have here in the United States. And yeah, it's very where I grew up. It's a small town. We grew up in a small poor town. You know, poverty was number one thing in our town.
Yeah, I
So
got your house behind me.
Oh my God, that's amazing. It's just like when I tell, as you know, I was in October in national television. They took me there to interview me because of my brain. And I kind of sometimes we have like low days when we feel like low and we feel like we're not doing enough, right? That's sometimes I tend to push myself a lot. Then I was looking back and I say like I feel like I'm not pushing enough I'm not going fast enough. And I saw the pictures of my town. Actually, one of my brothers, or my nephew who lives here, who he went to my town and he took a picture of this house, and there's so many memories in that house. I felt back then when I was little, I felt rich. I felt like I had all this money. I felt rich back then, because this is, if you see this house, you think it's poverty. You are poor, but so many people don't even have this. At least we had this little house. That we didn't have like the curtains as you see. My mom will put little rocks to cover the windows, and and then at the beginning we used to sleep on the floor. We didn't have mattress, and we
Wait,
will sleep
sorry
on
for
the
cutting you off.
floor.
Is the floor, is it earth or cement?
No, nothing. It was just ground, like
Yeah,
in the
exactly,
ground, right?
earth.
So, and then we'll put it. So we had like what is this called? A sheep. The sheep skin. So that was our
Wool.
bed. So the wool. So we will just sleep on top of it. I don't know if they wash it or not, but we'll put cover on
Probably
it,
not.
and that was our bed. Probably not. We did not have like back then electricity or water to drink. We used to have a little like we will go kind of far away to collect water in containers, so you can get water. And my mom cooked their food with sticks. That's
Yeah.
the way we did it back then. It didn't exist gas or anything like that. And then which is like our breakfast was like coffee with a little bit of milk and maybe some kind of bread, just to go for the day. So we were in, and I still felt that was rich. I was rich because so many people, they didn't even have that. So, and then when I look back, so that's why I just made a post not too long ago. I think I don't know, in the afternoon, I was feeling like I'm not doing enough. And I look back and I say, wow, look at me now. I was in national television. I mean, I'm not. It's only 3 years since I opened the company, and I'm already in the national television. I should feel proud of myself, but sometimes we tend to be hard with ourselves, and we don't see it until now. Like, I see where I came from and how hard it is to get where you want to be.
100%. I do that sometimes too. Sometimes, we get in this position, we get comfortable, we feel some privilege, and you'll be like, exactly what you said. Like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, and then you pause and you say, "Oh, wait a minute! Before I was missing meals."
Right. And now it's like it's just hard. Like, there's a lot of things I would like to do, that I feel like I should have done a long time ago. But like I say, I'm writing a book, and really my book is to inspire so many women, and especially immigrants, right, that come to this country in any part of the world. That they come with a dream, and really the book is about resilience, and it's my story, because I think my story is unique, and I went through a lot in my life, and and I became stronger. I became other human being, I will say, uh, and I went far. I feel like I went far. I came from this little house that has so many stories, and I am where I am because I put a lot of work on myself, and I put a lot of work to accomplish in my dream, and I feel like everybody is capable to do that. It's just like a lot of people thinks, oh, why did I went through this situation, instead of asking what is the purpose in my life, why do I came here, what I need to learn in this world, what is my purpose, how can I help other people, because like me, and like a lot of people is going through a lot in their lives, and I feel like I can help a lot of people with the book that I'm writing.
Beautiful. Do you have a title?
Actually, I have 3 titles.
Well, are you going to say it, or you don't have to say it if you don't want to?
I mean, one of them is how to break the chain of your past. So because I feel like as a like as a human beings, we tend to repeat our parents' life, right? We suffer, and they taught us that we have to suffer, we have to work very hard to be successful, and you have to be in a lot of pain and stuff like that. And we tend to like repeat, and if also the other part is I grew up in a very a family that was my mother was treated very badly by my father, and I grew up in violence, and it was a normal thing for us, right?
Oh, he was
And
hitting
then
her.
yeah, so that's another thing. So as a kids, we grow up knowing that this is love, right? This is normal, and I should take it. I should take anything, even though it's a little love. I should take it because that's the thing I know. I don't know nothing else. I don't know what respect or love is, and as a human, we tend to repeat. So if somebody has to break that chain. It doesn't have to be that way. So that's one of the title of the book is like how you can break the chain of your background, or whatever is your because we all have some kind of chain we're carrying without knowing it, right? Some kind of problem. We have some kind of problem that we carry. I wouldn't say problem. I will say something that we don't know that that exists, that is not making us go forward, is keeping us back. So one of the well, that's one of them, but I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we'll come up with something else.
We'll see. So you're saying that you're the chain breaker?
I think so. Yeah, because I in my family, I have we are eight of us.
8 siblings?
Yes, 8 siblings.
Mom got busy.
They didn't have TV. That's the problem.
And it's free.
Right. So what I was saying is that I feel like my mother, she had to stay with my father regardless of what he was doing, right? And I feel like when you are independent, you don't have to, you don't have to you have to be independent. And the way to be independent is to get some knowledge, go get an education, and grow, open some kind of business and be independent and not dependent on anybody. Have some self-love for yourself, some self-respect. And I feel like that was missing with my parents. My mother took everything, and she couldn't leave because she had 8 kids. And then she didn't go to college. She didn't go to school. So I went to college, and I feel like that's one of the things that I'm breaking that part of my family by going to college and educating myself. And it's important, right?
Education is the key. No matter what, it's the key that will break that whatever that cycle and chain that dragging you down. Right.
Yeah. So I think that's one of them. None of my siblings went to college and then finish a career. I think I do have one, but I feel like by writing the book, that will be another one. Like self-awareness, not feeling guilty about your past, and instead of feeling grateful.
Well, good luck. Good luck. I hope everything works out. How did you end up in the U.S.?
Oh my God! I was. It's funny. You're not gonna believe this. So when I came here, I just lost my mother. She died in a car accident.
Ooh,
and
rest in peace.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it just happened, right? And it was without expecting. I was in college back then, and then so I was because she died. You have to pass a test to go to college, and I passed the test, and I got into college, and I was working like a full-time nighttime, so I could cover myself with my bills and also cover school. So I could barely afford for everything because college is expensive. You have to pay everything. And, I was only like 17 or something like that. We were just barely making it. We didn't have food to eat, and we have to choose between, like, you should have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And then because I know that feeling.
And then you had to choose which one was important, because also you have to have money for you to do the copies for school and this and that. And I was depressed also because I just lost my mom. And so eventually one of my sisters that lived here in the United States, she found out that, we were having very difficult time. And anyway, so they decided to take me here no, actually they say, we're going to take you to Canada. We're going to send you to Mexico. I was young. I didn't know what was happening. I was 17, and I'm like, oh, they're going to send me to Canada. Oh, great. Okay, I'm going to go to school in there. And they sent me to Canada. I mean, they flew me to Costa Rica. So what they did is like, okay, then you're going to become Costa Rican, and then you can fly with Costa Rican passport to Canada. I didn't know what they were doing, right? So they flew me to.
I get it.
So so I'm like so excited, and I was. You don't know when you're young, you don't know what they're doing. So, okay, I guess they flew me to Canada. Really, the purpose of my brothers, the oldest one, they wanted to fly me to Canada so I can go to school in there. So it ended up not too good. So when they find out that they did it wrong, and when I got stopped in immigration in Cuba, and I got arrested in there because I was traveling with the wrong papers, like a passport that wasn't mine.
It's not wrong paper. It's illegal papers. It's the right paper. It's the right
but
paper.
It's not mine.
Exactly.
It was horrible. It's now it's funny, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I was in prison there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was 17. I just lost my mom. It was horrible, and
How long
it's
did you
just.
stay in prison?
I think I stayed there for 4 days because
Oh
they
my
were they were
God.
they were trying to figure out what they're gonna do with me.
Hmm.
So they took me in Cuba because I was flying to Montreal, right? So
Hmm.
they took anyways, they sent me back. I told them that I want to go back to Peru because I am from Peru,
Hmm.
and they sent me back to Peru, and then I went back to Peru, and the story is that they end up my family end up sending me to the United States. What you don't want to know the rest.
What
It's
do
in
I
the
wanna
book.
now? I wanna know.
It's in the book. You
Okay,
gotta
all
buy
right,
the book.
all right, all right. I love the hook. I love the hook. All right, fair enough. My
So
God.
that's the reason I am in the United States. I lost my parents. They want to send me to college to Canada. I end up in the United States by mistake. No.
Wait, when they were planning to send you to Montreal, did you have family here?
No, they just want to drop me off there.
What's gonna happen when you land in Montreal?
There's no plan. Oh my God, that's just awful. Yeah, you can imagine. It was terrible.
But like, where are you gonna stay? Like, what's the plan here?
Yeah, they thought like maybe I will apply for asylum or they will.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
There's some people that does that here. Like where I live, we're close to the border of Quebec and Vermont, and a lot of people literally just cross a like. There's no border. It's just someone's land, and then you go to another someone's land, and there will be they call them Mounties, RCMP, the police, and they'll say, hey, by the
Uh-huh.
way, this is Canada, you'll be arrested if you cross the line. Obviously they'll cross the line because they want asylum, so they'll cross and then they'll just process. That's what they do. Some of them obviously gets good reason to get asylum, and some get sent back, but these are the part that's you know
But I was gonna be a good citizen for the United States.
Oh, well, most of the immigrants are good citizens anyway. You know.
Because look at me now. I'm like I'm a businesswoman now. I'm good for the country.
I know. I guess Canada missed out. Oh, you know what? No,
Yeah.
because it's the Cubans' fault. They stopped
Yeah,
you.
exact.
Yeah, the
Oh
Castro, huh?
my God. Yeah, this is nobody knows. Now it's funny, but I remember like I had to when I was writing the book, this is because this is part of the book. When I write, it's just you just go into it and you go deep and you're writing and you're crying about yourself because what is this little girl by herself at 17 years old doing this, right? Why not? And I don't know. I went through a lot. Like I say it from the perspective because I don't want to say it too strong because I don't know what the podcast is about
Oh,
really.
you say whatever you want to say.
So it was horrible. It's just the way I say it because the funny way, but it was just horrible. I went through hell, I will say. I went through hell. And I got traumatized, I got traumatized and I had to take therapy. I couldn't live with it for a long time because just after we at least the part of Costa Rica and coming to the Canada, it wasn't that bad. I think the hardest part was to cross the United States. It was the hardest part, I think, and I feel grateful that I'm still alive here in the podcast.
That's beautiful. I need to get this book now. Hey, let's go writing the book. We need to know the story.
Yes, soon it's gonna come.
You're such a driven woman. So you got to the U.S. Who did you stay with?
So I had a sister here who was already here in the United States. So she had a little apartment. I lived with her. Uh, you know, um, I was with her at the beginning. Um, like until I learned a little bit of a little of English. So I stayed home probably for 2 months, and they got me a job, and I started working. I work in a supermarket, and I started working full time. I still didn't know how to, like, I didn't have a car, anything like that, right? Like everyone, right? They gave me a little mattress so I can sleep in the mattress close to my nephew's bedroom.
Hey, it's not
So
wool.
at least there is a mattress. As now. So anyway, and I worked very hard. She's the one who paid for the trip to come to the United States. It was a huge loan that I got from her, so I had to pay $21,000 to her because she was the one who was, costing the entire trip to the United States. So I work in two full-time jobs, and I finished to pay her, I think in a year. I think I finished the pay, and then I was working full-time. 5 a.m. I will go to a job until 1 o'clock.
What kind of job?
Or I was working like in coffee shop, and then the 1 to 10 p.m. I will work in another job in a deli, so in a supermarket. So I was working two full-time jobs so I can pay my sister. And then after I finish paying, I start saving my money so I can become independent and buy my little Nissan Altima that I have back then, because I realized, like, if you don't have a car, you cannot move anywhere. Because at the beginning I was very young when I came, and I wanted to go to school, and I couldn't go. Like, my sister was not well aware that immigrants that came to this country can go to school. I didn't know.
She didn't know?
I don't know. I don't know if she didn't know, or she didn't send me, and I find out myself that I can go to community college and go to school. And it's just, I was for so long in a little bubble. I guess she was just trying to protect me, or I don't really know. So then eventually I start having a regular job, and I registered myself to community college because I wanted to learn the language. I noticed that if you don't learn the language, you cannot have better job, you cannot have better opportunity. So you had to learn the language.
Yeah, it's the key. What did you take in community college, other than the language?
Yeah, first it was English, obviously, because that was my first goal, right? And then after that, I met my son's father, and I became a mom, and I left my job, and I stayed home for almost like 2 years, and then in that time, I went to like a private school to get certified as a CNA.
What's
and
CNA?
Then it's a nursing assistant.
Okay.
So after that, I started like working as a CNA, making better money than I was making, because I was working for this company for 7 years, cooking as a chef, and making $11 per hour.
Oh my God.
It's just horrible. And then I realized there's a world up there. When I met my son's father, kind of my world opened up a little more, and I realized, okay, I can do all these things. How come I miss all these years? So anyways, I went to college again. I went back to college I was doing nursing. But back then I start working as a CNA, so I was making good money. I would say decent, and then I start saving on the side. And then I went to college too, and I start taking nursing. And I left nursing because I got separated, so I couldn't do it anymore because I had to pay everything myself. So I couldn't afford college anymore. And
oh yeah, you got divorced?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
So exactly when I got separated, I invest in my business. I was working full time, And also I was working in my business. I was trying to open my business, and I was in college full time. It was so much, so much. And so I opened the business, and exactly when I was getting separated, I lost my job. It was just horrible. So
As a nursing assistant?
yeah, I lost my job and I got separated. I invest my entire saving in my business, and I didn't know what.
Bro.
It was just horrible. Counting every penny so I can pay my bills, It was awful. So I'm glad I did, because you know what? I got stronger, I knew in my mind what I was doing. You're young, you don't know about business too much, but I knew what I was doing. Whatever I was doing, I just wanted to do it, and I want to be able, but I didn't know how abroad was, how big it was, right?
Yeah, you go in blindly.
Right. I said, what do I love to do? I love to work out, and that was my passion, right? And I also love my job. So I wanted to open a medical equipment a store. So, but it was way too big to invest. It was too much. You needed more money. But then I said, oh my God, I can't afford this, because that's what I love. I love what I do, I love to help people. I know about it. I know everything about it. So it was not something I was going to learn from zero. But then I said, okay, I cannot afford. This is how much I have in my bank account. This is how much I can invest. So I opened. I say I love gym. Like, I want to do something that is unique, something that will give different, because I realized once I became a mom, I developed stretch marks in my belly, and there was no leggings that will fit me and cover my stretch mark. And then not only that, but also it was so expensive, and I was a working mom. I couldn't afford 3 leggings, because they're $120 each legging. If you want an extra set, it's almost $500 or $600 only in leggings. And I say, you know what? This is not fair. I got to create something that is going to be unique, like for moms like me, for women like me that are hardworking women, cannot afford, but it's quite high quality. So that's how I came up with the brand. And voila, Prumatt was born in 2019.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we've been in business for 3 years. We have been in national television. We've been all over. We deliver all over. Well, some of our sales comes from Canada, Puerto Rico, and on the United States.
That's beautiful, man. Where does the name came from? Prumatt.
Prumatt. So Pru is the initial of my mom's name, Prudencia. And Matt is my son's name, Matthew.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's the combination of the special people that are close to my heart.
I saw the logo. It's very interesting. It's such a contrast. You want to tell the listeners the logo?
So our logo is a cobra, right? And then also the peace sign on the background. Actually, an artist made it from Mexico. So the cobra, there is the representation of the company. So the cobra is the only snake that never stops growing. So that's the representation of the brand. And also the cobra is the king of the snakes, right? It's very aggressive, So I wanted to make it that as the representation of the brand. For you to go to the gym, you have to be aggressive. You have to have the power to go, to the persistence. Not everybody will do it, right?
Not everybody.
Everybody will start and they quit in the middle. So you gotta go to really make a habit, make a part of your life, and you have to have the strength. So that's so the cobra is the representation, and the peace sign is that when you go to the gym, how do you feel? It brings you peace. It brings you calmness in your after you finish a workout. Sometimes you go and you're very stressed. You go to the gym and work out, and you come in like you feel happy. You feel like you have accomplished, and it just changes you, gives you peace. It just brings you a stability. It gives you that something that you're missing, and it just, I don't know, it's just hard
It
to
calms you.
explain. Right. So it's a balance, it's a balance. It's very aggressive, but also calms you.
Okay. Who created the logo? Who designed it?
It was an artist from Mexico.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So how did you know this guy? Like you contacted this guy?
Yeah, it's one of my friends. He's an artist in Mexico. That's what he does. So, I told him what I wanted and what I have in my mind, because I had a vision in my mind how I wanted to be. So, and then I said it to him, this is the way I would like to be. This is the way, it's very controversial, because people, they come to me and they always talk about the logo. That must be like, I must be doing something right, because people just like, they're like, what's wrong? What's the cobra? Like, what's the pizza? Like, so there's something to talk about. You know what I mean? I must be doing something. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's just people comes to me and ask me, and that's why I'm there. You know what? Because how many people do you think they ask me about the logo? And then I keep saying, I repeat myself again and again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write a book. You got to buy the book.
But it's good marketing because people talks about it.
Right.
It's eye-catching. Like it's not like, other logos of other brands out there, activewear brands, that you just see lines or like squiggle lines, like this is a different thing, like Cobra, which I do like. I like when you said, like, when you go to the gym, you go hard. You have to be aggressive. You have to be passionate about it. I love working out. That's what it gives you. There are days you're like, I don't want to do this. But then you do it, you go hard, and you have that calm.
Right. So when you saw the logo, what was your first thought?
I love it. I love Cobras.
Oh my God. Look at you. Somebody loves Cobra, because I have heard, like, I was going to change the logo last year. I have a designer who designs for Gucci, right? He designs all the, how they come up with the little, purses, and they're unique. Their designs are unique. So the designer he did work for me. And I told him, do something minimalism, and we went through it, and I check. I think he did something like 10 of them. And I said, I'm just going to keep it. This is like, he made it, like the artist made it from his heart. It was in my vision. It was in my mind. And I said, I'm not going to change it. I still have it. I was going to change it, but then I said, I'm going to keep it, And it's hard, because then some people, they question it. And because sometimes some people are very religious, Some people are religious and they say, Cobra it's like evil, but
first of all, Cobra is not the evil one. The evil is the serpent. Cobra is not a serpent. It's just, right. It's a snake, but I see your point though.
Right. So, and I said I was going to change it, but I said, I'm just going to keep it. It just feels to my heart. And it's the representation of what I want to create and what I want to do with my brand. And I mean, it must be good, because people talks about it, which is good.
Exactly. Also, guess what? It's your company. Let them be quiet.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But
that it came through me too. Like, I do have the logo for the podcast was created by my friend. Shout out to Shital, my girl. And then I started thinking of maybe I'll change it, And I've spoken to some artists that became friends, and all of them said, dude, your logo is perfect. There's nothing to change. I said, you know what? I do love my logo. I love everything about it. So why would I change it?
Right. It's just, Yeah, like I sometimes it's good to let people talk, if there is something they need to talk about, okay, they will remember that it's controversial, okay, let it be then.
Hey, it's all about the money, you know what I mean? If it translates to money, who cares if it's like it's a cobra and they can equate it to whatever else what they want to equate. They're just reflecting themselves. It's your creation. People will
Right.
talk.
Yes,
Always.
that's right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just hard to make people happy, especially in my field, like it's hard to make you get to know people when you are in this field, because there's so many people, and some people complain, some people like this material, some people don't like that material, some of them, one of them is the favorite but the other one is not the favorite. That's when you realize, oh my god, every mind is a world.
Listen,
So,
even Jesus Christ had haters.
oh yes.
Unless you're better than Jesus Christ. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's a nice perspective. You're right. You're
People
right.
will always talk. People like when I remember when I started the podcast and people was like, "Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that." I'm like, "Hey, it's not your podcast. It's my podcast. Leave me alone."
Right. Yeah. Because the other thing is that people talks about it because they wish it was them, right? At least you're doing it, right? You're doing it. You just getting out of your comfort zone by doing it. At least like you put yourself out there, and the people talks about it, but sometimes from behind the scenes, people likes, yeah, it is hard, but you gotta just keep going.
How do you get into working out?
How did I? Oh, when I was always so when I first came to this country, I was like, I gotta do something because, like I realized, there is so much food in this country that you can eat and get fat immediately. As I'm a Latina, and as a Latina, you eat rice like every single day, like 1 pound of rice. And I realized, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. So I signed up myself to the gym. I will work out, but I was not that consistent. So then I will work out 3 times per week when I was single. And plus I was young. I have beautiful body. I didn't need anything
You
extra.
still have beautiful body.
Now what I got, then you didn't need that. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm pretty. It's okay. Like, I would just like go and do a little bit of cardio. So when I became mom is when I started working out. I didn't feel comfortable about myself. I gained 40 pounds, I think. And I say, I want to be healthy. I want to go back where I was. Like I was very like physical wise. I was very like like fit. And they used to call me Talia because I had nice small waist. I'm like,
No
now
way.
I'm like, now this is it, Maria. She lost everything. And then you become like, when you become a mom, like you become so, I don't know, your self-esteem just goes, like it just goes away. And you don't, I realized looking at my pictures, I would never take pictures of myself because I didn't feel happy about myself. I didn't feel comfortable with myself. Then I said, I have to do something. What is that girl that used to do a lot of pictures and I'm not? That means I don't love myself anymore the way I used to. So I developed a stretch mark and I was sewing, like I felt very uncomfortable. So I started working out and I got serious into it. And I started working out 3 days and then it became my routine. Now I've been working out for 10 years, 11 years, and I do every day, every day. If I don't do it, if I don't go, I don't feel comfortable. I just feel it's part of my life now. It's part of it's a habit now.
Yeah. Do you go to the gym every day? Like literally Mondays to Sunday?
No, I go Monday to Friday, and sometimes I'll go Saturday, Sundays just to do a little stretch or sometimes to do a little cardio. But Monday to Friday is you must, like it's something that I go.
What time do you go?
So I try to go early in the morning. So I get up at 5 o'clock. I go 5 o'clock to 6, like 5 in the morning. Try to go in the morning. Sometimes if I have time in the afternoon, like 11ish, I go at that time. But most of the time I go in the morning, like 5 in the morning.
Who's watching your son?
Yeah, he goes with his father. He's already 11. He's big boy now. So
Okay.
he goes to his father half of the time. We take it like days, and then he goes half of the days, like twice a week he goes with his father, and then every other weekend. So but if he's with me, I still go because he's sleeping. I get home at 6 o'clock and he's still sleeping. I have to, the alarm is going on and he's still sleeping,
You're such a busy woman. You're such a driven woman. How do you make sure that you are giving the proper amount and time to your child that he wouldn't feel that he's neglected?
Right. So I was very, very busy before. I had a like 60 hours job. I would work 12 to 12, like 12-hour shift sometimes, plus the business. But I realized that, yeah, my son, in fact, was like being neglected, his father was the one who helps a lot. Then I noticed that I will only see him at nighttime. I will come home. I used to go to work at 8 o'clock to 8 p.m., in the morning to 8 p.m. And I realized, like, okay, I only see him at nighttime, and his father will, take care of him in the morning. Or I take care of him on the morning, now come home at 8 o'clock and he will be with his father. He barely see me. So I say, you know what, I'm going to quit my job. I need to focus in my business more, and then work in my own schedule. And I do CNA privately. I do my own schedule now. And I think he's very happy. He's a happy boy now because I spend time with him. I take him to school every day. I make his breakfast every day, make sure he eats good. I'm here at 3 o'clock. I come home at 12 o'clock. And then I come home again at 3 o'clock, and I make sure he's doing his homework, and I cook for him, make dinner. Every night we have dinner at this time. He sit down and, and then make sure he sits there and does his homework. And I just I feel very blessed about my time because I can manage my time and put my son as a priority.
That's
I mean,
beautiful.
I doesn't even feel like I'm working. Like he's, are you working today? I'm like, I am working. Yes, I already made that money. because because it's just I manage my time now better. I make my hours. When I put my patients, I can do this hour to this hour. And I don't work Monday. I only work Monday to Friday. I can now work Saturday, Sunday, because my son, sometimes, he stays with me and we do things. He has basketball and I have to be there with him.
That's beautiful.
So he feels blessed. He tells me now that I'm happy to see you, that you're home now all the time. You're with me. And I feel the change also, but I think 2 years ago, a year ago, I was working very hard because I had this, goal that I needed to accomplish. And I'm a single mom. I don't depend on anybody. If I don't work, how am I going to produce any income? So I had to work, but I was getting so obsessed about it because I wanted to. My son was saying he wanted a house, and I said, I gotta get his house. And he wants a house, but that's not what he means. When he says house, he doesn't have any idea. I think he wants me there, So when it's the right time, it's gonna come. And I feel like I was pushing myself way too much, and I almost got sick too. You start becoming depressive because you're working long hours.
Yeah, you were blinded by your ambition.
Right. So I feel very blessed now because I'm home at 3 o'clock, sometimes at 4 o'clock. And then he sees me in the morning, I make breakfast, I eat with him. And then in the afternoon, I make dinner and he's there. I'm there,
That's beautiful, man. Going back to Prumatt, what separates Prumatt from other workout clothes? So why would a customer buy your product instead of others?
Right. So I think it makes us unique because it's made for moms. It's affordable and high quality product. It's also extra high waist. So it's not like any other clothes. Our brand was focusing moms, right? Most of the brands are focused for people that already work out, but our brand was made for moms like me. High waist and also affordable, and a high quality. Once people buys one time, they love the material and also how high waist it is. So that makes us unique. And also it's Latina owned, it's mom owned, and it's dedicated for moms like me.
Beautiful. Who designs the clothes?
I do it. I do it myself.
One of your workout bottoms, it has like a hole on the side here. I like it. What made you think that?
It says Prumatt. Yeah. So that was our first collection. That's our bestseller. I'm still thinking, like, because people loves them, the design. I think we're gonna come up with new colors. I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide. I'm not sure yet. That makes us unique. That was our first collection. I wanted to make um, because as a mom, you can show, but you don't have to show the whole thing. So I wanted to make kind of like a sexy, but not, but also classy. That because that's who I am. I'm sexy, but I'm very classy. So I wanted to make high waist all the way here, but also like a little sexy in this part. So that's why it's so sexy. When you go to the gym, people see, say, "Oh my God, I'm wearing Prumatt," and it's kind of sexy in this area because you show a little bit, but not too much. So
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, that's our first collection. It's our bestseller too. And I think that's why people loves it because moms that they work out, they love the material, and also they love that it's a little sexy but not too much. You know what I mean?
I love it. Speaking of being in shape and all that, do you think of going into the plus size clothing line, or you're just gonna stick with the moms?
No, I think I will go, and in fact, it's something that I would love to do that. But as you know, plus size is extra material, right? You have to pay more money for that, and you have to have the market for it. So we do want to incorporate that, but we need more investment. So I'm thinking maybe we will have to drop the part of extra small to go to plus size. So eventually we're gonna do it, but we do have some bras that are extra large, and then we're trying to do the plus size. But it's really, people don't know this, but it costs more to come for the plus size because of the material.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, because they use extra material, if it's so it's gonna cost us a little more. But I
just
know,
lose weight, you know.
No, it's just you just. I think it's. I don't think. I mean, every shape it's different. Like you don't have to be fit. You can be fit and you can be medium size or large size and be happy with your body. It's just what you do and how you feel, how comfortable you are.
Yeah, but if there's a pill that you can take and you're like hottie with the body, I promise you, 100% of people will take that pill.
That's right. Yeah. That is true. That is true. But that magic pill doesn't exist, right? You have to create. You have to be realistic, but also you have to learn to love your body the way it is. Like I don't think you need to be like a curvy and like you shape to be happy and to feel comfortable. The thing is, nowadays the magazine and all these companies they show us you have to have perfect body for you to be like a number one. I don't want that. I don't. In reality, we have all kind of people, all kind of women out there, and we want to dedicate those clothes for them too. Because I'm a mom. I'm not perfect. I might look perfect, but I am not. I have stretch marks, and I am very proud about it. And I don't feel like I need to be like a curvy to feel sexy.
Mhm.
I think there is girls that look amazing and they're a little bit overweight, but they look sexier than me. Which is, you just have to learn to love the way you are and without compromising your health, obviously.
Definitely. You moved so much, you have so much ideas, so much goals. When do you ever collect your thoughts and work on yourself?
That's a good question. It's hard. It's hard for me. The, I just went into a relationship, and that I am having that difficult time of balance, because I love my free time. I love my quiet time. I love because that's when I really my creativity comes to me, right? Like when I'm alone, and I feel like I lost that part of me, and I feel like because I love to meditate. I used to meditate a lot every day, but then since I go into relationship, everything has changed. But I think I'm trying to make like a habit where I can have like a 9 to 10 where I can meditate, I can read because I do love to read too. I read a lot. You see me, if you knew me, anywhere, even to the store, I go with my book. I go with my book in my hands because if I'm gonna maybe have a little time, I can read it because I'm so busy and I don't have the time to sit down and read, but I'm always doing something, and I think that's important to me. But I did lost that part of me. I feel when I got into a new relationship, and it's important. I think it's important for you to dedicate yourself for you, especially to come with ideas. It's for me, it's so important. Like because I'm writing a book too. Like I gotta do it over. Sometimes I do it early in the morning. That's why I wake up early. But sometimes do in the afternoons, like a late night when my son already went to bed, so I can have that hour for me and do miracles in that time.
Beautiful. Listen, Maria, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. I think we're there. But before we close out, do you have any last remarks?
Yes, I think I would like to say thank you so much for having me in your home. It's amazing what you're doing for all the immigrants. And
Appreciate
I
it.
just want to say that, whatever is your dream, you got to work very hard on it. And whoever is listening to this podcast, you have to work very, very hard in your dreams. Don't ever give up. You're going to have many people that won't believe on you, but as long as you believe in yourself and you have consistency and you're persistent, I promise you're going to achieve anything you're working on or you're dreaming for. And I think it's important to believe in yourself first before anybody else. You have to believe in yourself, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many people won't believe in you just believe in yourself and keep going. And then it's the key is to show up no matter what.
Beautiful. Wise word from a wise woman. Again, Maria, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me in your podcast.
Have a good evening.
Good evening. Bye bye now.
Bye. Thank you again, Maria, for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Aaron Deliosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.